Google's going back to court, Gemini is being integrated into Chrome, and IAS is being acquired by Novacap. That's what we're talking about on this week's The Refresh, your weekly download on what went down in advertising. Before we kick off, shout out to our incredible sponsor, Adform. 40% of internet users are unreachable thanks to signal loss. Reclaim your audience and find your 40 with Adform. Now let's get into it. Google and the DOJ went back to court last week to kick off the remedies phase of their AdTech antitrust trial, or what I like to refer to as the only thing that has made anyone that doesn't work in AdTech actually care about AdTech. A quick refresher, Google was found guilty of maintaining a monopoly in their ad exchange, AdX, and their ad server, DFP, or DoubleClick for publishers, both of which are now housed under Google Ad Manager and largely support publishers. Last week saw the DOJ and Google begin to make their cases for their proposed remedies. The DOJ would like more structural remedies, while Google is advocating for more behavioral remedies. Generally speaking, critics of the DOJ's remedies say that they're too technically challenging, could take a long time to complete, and could have the unintended consequence of actually harming publishers. Critics of Google's remedies argue that they're too soft and would allow Google to potentially exploit loopholes in them or circumvent them entirely. One of the juicier findings from last week's hearings is that Google actually did evaluate the feasibility of spinning off AdX and DFP through efforts called Project Sunday and Project Monday. They found that it was actually pretty possible, it would just take a while. Last week's hearings did make one thing abundantly clear. Trust in Google is low, specifically that they won't try to re-monopolize in the same market or within a different market. Judge Brinkema needs to evaluate how harsh remedies need to be to avoid this happening, while also keeping everyone grounded in the reality that decisions can't be made based on this lack of trust and presumption about what Google might do in the future. Her job is to determine what remedies would adequately restore competition to the market as it's been defined by this case, and potentially create some sort of reparations for the harms caused by Google in this specific set of circumstances. Moving on, Google has begun rolling out their integration of Gemini into Chrome, bringing the AI assistant and some agentic capabilities more directly into users' browsing experiences. While they may seem very similar to what's been rolled out with other AI assistants or agents, they have the massive benefit of operating within Google's ecosystem. Google mentioned that more agentic capabilities and the integration of AI mode into the actual browser bar in Chrome should be rolled out within the next weeks to months. I think 2026 is going to see AI assistants, agents, browsers really start to take off as users better understand how to interact with them and the utility they bring to the table, overall increasing trust in this new way of engaging and transacting across the internet. Finally, media verification vendor IAS is set to be acquired by Novacap, a Canadian private equity firm, in a deal valued at $1.9 billion that would also take IAS private. IAS's robust AI-led platform and steady revenue growth made it an attractive target for Novacap, who recently raised $1 billion for investments in digital infrastructure. Novacap views this acquisition as a long-term bet on the future of AdTech, helping IAS to innovate faster and lead the way when it comes to establishing new standards of media quality and accountability in digital advertising. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us for the refresh, and we'll catch you next week. Oh, and happy Taylor Swift album release week to all those who celebrate.